I would love to just spend a few minutes just taking in the room. What a beautiful morning to be together, and welcome to our 9th winter celebration. As many of you know, about 9 years ago on this day, we had about 7 minutes of programming ready. And in our fiercely determined way, we decided that we would stretch it to about 30 minutes. We thought that would be enough winter celebration. So this involved a particularly long-winded speech from me, maybe 15-minute speech, and many sing-alongs, at least one of which has become a tradition, and then our heart stopper, which was real candles in the hands of kindergartners. So if anybody needed any evidence that we were lunatics, basically, starting a school, there it was, and my last-minute fear that one of our kindergarten parents was, unbeknownst to me, a fire marshal. But this year, I'm pleased to report that we have about 4 hours of programming ready for you this morning. And with our normal fierce determination, we've cut it down to just over 1 hour. So 2 different problems, first year and 9th year. This is a school and a season about light. Firelight, inner light, candlelight, moonlight, and the diamond bright light of a distant star on a cold December night. Last night, behind roiling storm clouds, there was a little smudge of a moon, a waxing gibbous moon, scheduled to be a bright full moon on the shortest day of the year, December 21st. And for those of us who have quite a lot of pagan on our DNA, that's going to be an evening in which you'll all want to go out, regardless of the weather, and do some howling at the moon. I hope that the storm system breaks for that night, but even if it doesn't, go outside and celebrate the beginning of the longer days that we'll once again celebrate in June with the longest day of the year. I've regaled you over the years with tales about the beautiful Danish Christmas that my mother orchestrated, and I realize now what an incredible orchestration that was in my home. But you may know that Danes, in general, are extraordinarily happy people. When they do that index of happiness, looking at all the nations all around the world, the Danes come up near the top all the time. And so I've been thinking about that, and I don't think it's that their overall tax rate is 65%. Take that in. I don't think it's the fact that their days in the winter are about maybe, 3 hours long? I don't think it's the stunningly bland landscape of Denmark. I don't think that it's the dark feelings of many of the films and the novels and the art in that part of the world. Is it the fact that they bike to work? Does that make them that happy? Is it the fact that they don't spend beyond their means? Is it the fact that they spend the year making little trinkets and crafts for their Christmas trees? I actually don't think it's any of that. I have a theory that the reason that the Danes are so happy has to do with their annual personal intake of butter. I think that a nation that has a high per capita butter consumption is a happy nation, and I would like to present that theory to you to test over the holidays. I think if you personally take it upon yourselves to have as much Danish baked goods as you can possibly have, you'll find yourself to be extraordinarily happy come January. I'd also like to ask you to contemplate over these holidays the actual and the metaphorical light in your life. I'd like you to look, as we did 9 years ago, at the beautiful picture of a child's face bathed in candlelight. I'd like you to sit in front of a blazing fire like your pagan ancestors. I'd like you to enjoy the splendidly over-decorated tree in Union Square. Think about the light of the people you love. Think about the light of the people who perplex you. Think about the bright lights of the teachers gathered here today who work every day to illuminate algebra or multiplication tables or American literature or ancient history. And think too of the still small voice inside of you, or if you wish, the warm, soft light that guides you. And enjoy during these very short, I think brutally short days, cold and wet and snowy days that they are, all of your favorite metaphors for what or who you know that lights up a room. Welcome to an hour of hearing what lights up our lives, children's voices lifted in song, or children wrestling to get something like music out of a hunk of metal called a trombone. Welcome.